Hello.
Oh, Lida. Good evening.
Hello.
Good evening.
Hello. How you doing?
Okay.
All right.
You know, I log in three times. I'm trying to log myself out. uh,
Hi, Mark.
Hi, Mark.
Hi, Glenda. Hi, Vilma.
Hi, darling.
I'm trying to make this a little bit louder because it sounds a little bit faint.
But this
Give me
has
like
an
1 or 2 more
echo.
minutes. I'm trying to see. You on twice. You on 3 times. How come you on 3 times?
I know. I'm
So
trying to get.
that's
Wait,
why you
wait.
have the echo. You gotta cut
Go
something
get
off.
Jesse for me. Right. I sent Herbie to go get Jesse.
Okay. Go get the expert, right?
Right.
Okay, now you're down to one now. I see one.
Oh no. How
Um,
come your mother messed up? Look,
is
one,
Regina on
two,
the
three.
line?
Can you
No,
I
I
didn't
don't see
hear take
Regina yet.
put on the meter? I can hear myself 3 times. Okay. Glenda, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can
Glenda?
hear you. I'm still, I was still trying to
Okay.
put my volume up a little bit
You
more.
can fix it. Let's hear for Jesse. Thank you, Jess.
Okay.
So I don't see Mark now.
Mark is at
So
the
we have
bottom, but I don't
Mark.
see his face. He have it off. Okay, now I see him again. Okay.
Yay.
All right. We're gonna get ready to get started. I was trying to wait for Regina because she was the recording secretary, so I'll just go over the minutes and when she comes in, we'll have her. And this is going to be recorded, so she can always look at it. Just want to welcome everybody. Okay, today is the 10th. I'm at the 5th. Sorry,
No, this is the 10th month.
the month is the 10th. I'm still
Right.
trying to get myself together here. I told you I went to the doctor today. Everything's all is well. No COVID or nothing. Just a cold. So my voice may be a little horsey. So it's just they say I think it's allergies.
This is the
Um,
time.
and then I might have a cough every once in a while, but don't get alarmed. That's just the allergy cough. Okay.
Well, you went to the doctor today, so you're all right because you was conducting the meeting.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm gonna go to work tomorrow. Just had to make
Okay.
sure I was okay. You get a little cough these days, you gotta run. You know.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna get started. Welcome everybody. I see somebody I don't know that name, Elias.
Yeah, I was gonna ask Elias Guerra. Guerra, say Guerra.
Guerra.
Say that again.
Elias,
Guerra. Guerra.
can you introduce yourself here? Oh, just a community board member. Okay. Thank you for joining
Oh,
us.
it is?
Yeah, I saw the
Oh,
chat.
wow.
It's all right with the chat. Okay. Oh,
Okay, I don't know him.
okay. Yeah, just a member. Ah, Elias.
That's you?
Okay. All right, so we're
That's
going to
you,
get started. My
Elias?
name is Glenda Andrews for the Community Board 8 Parks Committee. We're going to start our meeting and the meeting will call to order. At what time is it? 6:20, 6:24.
Scenes filmed in Central
Okay.
Park. Let's do it. Here is your clue.
Mary Woods.
Just give me a minute. I'm trying to multitasking.
And what was the weather that day? Yes.
Even though it's recorded, I still want to have my little information. Okay. Okay. So we're going to go over the minutes. I have to improvise here because all of the information wasn't put in when she did it. When she did the minutes. So I'm going to be adding some stuff in, but I'm going to give you an official minutes before in the near future. I'm gonna make some adjustments. Okay. The meeting was called to order at on this was September the 14th was our last meeting. The meeting was called to order at 6:19 p.m. Ms. Andrews welcomed all, introduced Greg Todd as the co-chair, and proceeded to discuss the committee visions and goals. Longtime resident Michelle Morris suggested more outreach and publishing for community events. Ms. Buck Buchanan of Friends of St. Mark Playground noted that the playground lacks funding, essential upgrades, and proper maintenance. Ms. Andrews stated that the park hasn't received any funding since 2002, and that it will be added to the budget. Ms. Buchanan will follow up with the district manager. Okay, we had a guest speaker of last week, and her name was Dominica Roberts. She was the program manager of Brooklyn Queens Land Trust. She came to give us an update about the Ralph Lincoln Gardens, and she was explaining that their organization is there to preserve community gardens. They are privately owned. They own all of these gardens privately. Um, and they say that they thank the community board to start the relationship with NYPD and start the relationship with the community. Okay, they're starting to clean up the garden and the back part of the property. They plan to get some soil from an organization that will donate some soil to them to level the grounds, and they're going to replace the bench. They're going to create a compost system when the renovation is done. They want the community board to help them get volunteers to help them to put down the soil, the level of soil, and to rebuild the beds. The date will be to be determined in the near future. We will know about the dates. Okay. Greg Todd had a question about people sitting in front of the garden, and she explained that it was just a big misunderstanding that they didn't know that a new organization had owned the property and nobody informed them. So there was some pushback for that for back and forth for a while, but now they're working to get common grounds with the community. And Greg offers the Imani Garden Group to help them to get the support that they need. There are two gardens on that block. They own another garden that's over there. It's called St. John's Community Garden, not too far from the Ralph Lincoln. And they would try to work on that, but they want to get the Ralph Lincoln Garden up first. Then we had reports from St. John Recreation Center. Glenda Andrews reported that Ms. Allgood gave her the following information. Okay, as of September 13th, the center will be open. It's open. Okay, the weight room and the cardio room are the only available activities that was available at the time. The swimming pool is closed. Free membership is offered to all people interested for 1 year, up to December 31st. But you must have at least one vaccine shot. Okay, they do have outside activities. They have the Zumba classes, the pickleball, they have the basketball. The spin room in St. John on the third floor is closed because of water damage from the roof, and the floor was damaged. They're going to start the drop-in program on September the 20th, 2021, from ages 6 to 13. The senior program is not active, but the quilting program will start in the first week of October. The Friends of Reports, the St. John's, Friends of St. John, Miss Kinsey reported that the following. It's My Park Day will be held on October 16, 2021, in addition to fall planning. Okay, the Friends of Broward Park, Margaret Gidley, she reported that they need more park lighting, science reading programs. The Pride Picnic and Juneteenth was a successful event. Updating website on the and the group meets every fourth Tuesday. Okay, Imani Gardens, Greg Todd, intern program working with the garden. They continue daily composting and donating food. Crown Heights Tenant Union is planning a picnic in the garden. The next meeting will be scheduled for October 5th, 2021, and the meeting was called adjourned. The meeting adjourned at about 7:30. I don't think she had ordered. Okay, that's the minutes. Okay, we I don't think we have a quorum to vote on the minutes. So I'm going to, but do we have any questions, first of all? Any questions on the minutes before we do that? Questions or comments? Any corrections or questions? No? Okay.
I'm
Glenda,
having a hard time hearing because of like noise in the
There's-
background.
Okay, so people, if you're not speaking, Vilma, can you put it on mute?
yes, I'm just telling you that somebody's listening to television.
You on too. You on twice again. I don't know how you got on twice. And where
Yeah,
is
I got.
Mark? Are you here?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. I don't see you on the board. That's why I noticed. Okay, now I see you. Okay. All right. All right. So, I don't think we really have a quorum to vote on the minutes. Is Dorothy here? Dorothy?
No.
Okay.
I think Ms. Woods, it needs to mute.
Yeah, somebody else needs to mute. Everybody mute yourself if you're not speaking, okay? All right. Put yourself on mute.
Well, I
soon.
got out of it.
Vilma, can you put yours on mute?
I got out because I couldn't hear you.
I see you on one. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right. So we're gonna go through our agenda. Our first thing, maybe I should get to Mark first because just in case he wants to leave. We have Mark Thornton here from Thornton. I'm sorry, I said your name wrong. From the Community Board 8 Public Safety Group. And I invited Mark to come to talk to us about the issues that we have in the park with the crimes and the stuff that's going on in the park. We had a meeting with the Brooklyn Commissioner Marty Marr, and he mentioned to us that DOT had planned to do some LED lights to help the lighting in the park, in Broward Park. So, Mr. Thornton, can you just give us some more update on that?
Yes, thank you, Glenda, for reaching out to the Parks Commissioner, Brooklyn Parks Commissioner. Yes, we had a meeting, and he said that the main objective for a public safety standpoint was to try to get additional illumination in the park to help with visibility and also to assist with the police, you know, as they do their rounds, just to make sure that everything is safe. The Parks Commissioner, the Brooklyn Parks Commissioner then said that DOT was going to be doing an upgrade on the lighting, which was they're going to be putting in the LED lights. We reached out to the to DOT, Community Board reached out to the DOT, and DOT did say that they did upgrade the lights recently to LED lights. So that's extremely helpful. They did that in Broward Park and in Lincoln Terrence Park. But you know, I'm reaching out to the Parks Committee to see if you guys really noticed the additional illumination. That's extremely important to see if you guys noticed it. What might be is that due to the fact that it's summertime, you might have a lot of the trees still have the leaves on it, so there might be you know, you get a lot of shadows. But still, you know, I just need a feedback from the Parks Committee if you guys do see, you know, if it has been increased in illumination. That's extremely important. Also, 77th Precinct, they've been going through the parks. Sector Charlie, which is for Broward Park, where they've been having a lot of concerns recently. So they've been stepping up their presence in that park, and also in Lincoln Terrace Park, they've been doing additional patrols through there. Fortunately, Lincoln Park has been much quieter in reference to the violence. And St. John's, you know, they normally do their runs around St. John's Recreation Center in that area. I think those were the real parks that they had concerns with. But those are extremely beautiful parks. Those are one of the few greenery parks that we have in our community. And it's extremely important for the community to have, for it to be utilized by the community for everyone. You're on mute, Glenda. You're on mute.
I'm sorry, I put it on mute so I won't be having so many background noise. That was my first question I was going to ask you, Mark. Did you have any plans with the NYPD to check the parks more often to see if we can cut down on some of the crime, you know, rates there at Broward Park? So you already mentioned that that's what they're doing now. Okay, so do you have anything else to report about any other options that we might want to look into, or about trying to keep the park safe?
Well, we do have sector meetings, which is extremely important for the community to get involved with. For each one of the sectors, if you have concerns, it's important for them to address the concerns with the sector officers. What I will do is to send over the information for each one of the sector, for the officers for each one of the areas, with a map and their contact number. That would be their email and their telephone number. So it's good to have a good relationship with them. But it's also what I feel is important once we start opening up and come back together is for us to have for the community to attend these meetings, because when you attend the meetings, you may not have an issue, but your neighbor may have an issue, and you're not aware of that thing that's going on right around the corner from you. So it's extremely important to attend those meetings and exchange ideas, and to see what's going on around the corner from you, or maybe on your block that you're not aware of. That you know, you're not out in the street all the time, so somebody might see something that's important and it's related to you. So it's extremely important for us to participate in those sector meetings.
Okay, I think I went to one of those meetings once before, and I think we should encourage the community to attend those meetings more often. So if you would provide that information for us, that would be very helpful for us to be more, involved with the meetings when they have them. So we
Yes,
can lift our voice.
I'll definitely send that out. And I
Okay.
try to participate in all the sectors, all the sector meetings. I'm in sector boy myself, but I try to attend all of the other sectors because it's extremely important for public safety to have an understanding of the concerns of each one of the sectors. So I'll definitely send that over to you.
Yes, thank you, and thank you for the information, keeping me up to date with with the lights and stuff. I noticed that one thing they did say also, that the tree trimming, like the pruning of the trees, is a necessity because they may be kind of like blocking some of the lights. So I think that's the next project we need to reach out to. This is something that the parks have to do. Reach out to the commissioner to see when do they plan to trim the trees, so that would help the lighting in the park. Okay, so that's one of the things that one of our to-do lists for the parks. Okay. Anybody have any questions or any comments for Mr. Durkin, please? Why he's here?
Hi, this is
Mark, are you here? Mark? Oh, you have. Go ahead, Elias. You had a question, Elias? Elias?
No, that
Can
was
you hear me?
Pierre Albert.
Yeah, I think it was Mr. Albert that had a question.
Oh, Mr. Albert.
yes.
Okay,
Hi,
Mr.
thank you.
Albert.
Thank you for having me. I'm a community resident. I work at the Governor's Office of Storm Recovery, but I'm just here as a community resident. I grew up in the Lincoln Terrace Park area, so I'm very familiar with it. So my question, has there been any, and I know the school year like literally just started, like a couple weeks in. Have there been any incidents that you've heard of already? Any gang violence or any situations?
And
When you
again,
say in reference to the entire community board?
No, just in reference to like Lincoln Terrace Park itself.
Lincoln Terrace Park, they had their Sector D meeting 2 weeks ago. However, it was postponed due to the fact that they had it was a rain situation, so they did postpone it. But I did come to the meeting and spoke with the officers in reference to the park itself. They're saying that the park is much better than it was last year. They have cameras outside of the park. I
Oh,
think
wow.
that was Buffalo. However, the location that it's at, it could have been, let me take a look. It was Rochester that they have a camera at, Rochester and Eastern Parkway. One that I noticed. It could have been situated a little better, but there is something there that can view what's going on in and out the park. And they said that they had another camera on the other section, but they were trying to get cameras within the park. But I don't know how. What's the criteria on getting parks with cameras within the park? I think that would be a Parks Committee, Parks Commission oversight on that part. But they did say that the park has been much safer this summer than in the past summer.
very good. Very good. Excellent.
But
I think
one thing that they do, one thing that they did have a concern with, not with the it is related to the park, but it's related to the residents of that area, is the crossing from the park, crossing of Eastern Parkway on Buffalo and Rochester. The sector officers all expressed their concerns about the safety on that corridor, and that's one of the corridors that transportation said that they were supposed to be making it much safer. However, that they haven't completed that portion. So with the transportation committee, they'll be trying to work on getting that portion of the plan completed. So that's extremely important for the kids coming in and out the park, and for yourself going in and out the park.
very good. All right. Any other questions for Mr. Thurton? Okay. We'll have it.
I have a question
Yes.
in reference to the Lincoln Terrace Terrence Park
Yes.
and the tennis courts. Did they ever have a plan of putting in utilizing the tennis court for for the winter activities for tennis, where they put a little dome on that?
No, I didn't hear anything about, the only thing I have here about Lincoln Terrace Park is the conference station. But the tennis court, no, I haven't heard anything about any plans about the tennis court. Not to say that they don't have it. What I need to do is inquire. I can go and ask and see if they have any plans for the winter time. Have they have it in the past? Have we had it in there? I've not seen it in the past that they had tents and
No.
everything over there.
No, I've never seen it, but you know that's a beautiful park, and for the for the residents in that community to take advantage of that, I mean that's something that that the Parks Commission. I mean, I'm not part of the Parks Committee, but that's something that they can definitely take a look at because that'll be extremely beneficial for the community and for the young kids.
Yeah, those hoods are very expensive, and I know like the Lincoln Terrace Tennis Association that has the program, they actually go out to like Sheepshead Bay or whatever and play indoor tennis in the wintertime there. Like they go way out of the neighborhood to play tennis indoors in the winter.
So maybe we need to reach out to our public officials to see if they have any fundings. Let's see what we have because you never know until you ask, right? So
Yeah, that's true. I mean, and
right.
we
So
don't want to wait till the neighborhood changes and then they're willing to make that investment. I mean, that's investment should be done now for all the residents that's in the area.
So,
So,
Marva,
Martha-
hi, Greg here. I'm
Who's that?
sorry I'm
Oh,
late.
Greg.
I just
okay, Greg.
got in. But Marva, do you know this, the individual heads up this tennis association?
My kids played, yeah, so I know some of the people that are involved. Yeah,
So I mean,
like
maybe you could just
initiative.
ask her if she'd ever thought about the possibility of having indoor tennis at Lincoln Terrace. I mean,
Right.
and maybe she
Did
never.
they ever consider it, Mama? They never did.
Oh, no, I mean, not that I know of, but I know specifically that they have arranged for people, and it's an exorbitant fee to pay to play indoors in the winter. So they got the group together to, collect money and see who could pay like $300 a person for the season to have
Oh, wow.
access to these courts. It was far. I feel like it was Sheepshead Bay. And, they had to have a commitment from people to play. And then the time that Lincoln Terrace was able to get was like Saturday mornings at 6 a.m. because that was the cheaper time. Because if you do it at like 10 a.m. on a Saturday, it's even more money than that to get access to the indoor courts. Yeah.
Does anybody know
But
they
if it's
still have they still have the bubbles over on the parade grounds over by Prospect Park and those tennis courts? Because they always have
Yes.
that.
Yes, definitely. That's still there.
Yeah. So I mean.
And I see somebody put in the chat, was it Miss Woods? I'm on my phone, sorry. But I see a comment in the chat from somebody that it's very expensive over at Prospect Park. Yeah.
It's very expensive, but they have found monies to do millions of dollars to do other projects. So, we have to see where they stand right now. So, and I know it can be very expensive because sometimes when you think about, equipment in the program, it's like $4 million. It's like, wow, why so much? But it does cost a lot of money. But sometimes when we can get the borough president and the elected official like Dolly Mealy, because she's over that section, to see what monies they have to put together. They have done it before. So they've done it as a group. And then sometimes people find private donors too. So if we can get a collective of people that can come together for the project, then I don't think, it could be done. It's not impossible. but you know, we just have to, you know, really work with it together with everybody. That's what I think what's going to have to happen. If we want it done, say, you know, the borough president give $1 million and Dolly Mealy give $500,000 or something like that. Something that first we got to get how much would it cost. You know, I think we need to do a survey and see how much would it cost, so we have the ground basis of how much would we need to shoot for. So who would be able to do that? It's the tennis court people, right? They would know, right? Marva, or you on mute?
I don't know the answer to that question, but I can definitely look into it if you guys want me to like investigate, you know, expenditures to create a covered tennis space in Lincoln Terrace Park. I think that's something
Okay,
I would be fine with asking and looking into.
okay.
Good
So
idea.
Marva, she's gonna look into it. Okay, that was a good one, Mark. Very good. Any more comments about the parks there? Well, like I was saying, I was looking up all of our project in our area, and I did have Lincoln Terrace Park here, the conference station. So we're gonna go into the capital project area of the meeting. Lincoln Terrace Park, they're talking about it's started since 2015. They are in the procurement stage now, and the construction, they said, it's going to start. It's going to take 12 to 18 months. Now, you know, there was a backup because of the pandemic, so everything is all the way backed up. The funding for this was between $3 and $5 million. See how much it is? $3 to $5 million. The mayor and the city council put money together to do this conference station. Okay, so that's, you know, that's what I'm talking about. Let's see if we can get to, you know, these two together to come together and do something. We have there was a big question, Marv, you had about the Broad Park pathway reconstruction. Marvin, you had some questions about that
Say it again. Sorry, the Brower Park what?
pathway reconstruction.
Okay, I'm out here now, actually. And so they have put up the fence, which it's an outer perimeter fence, which is closing off the park and the entrances to the park. I want to say from Kingston Avenue, about halfway down Park Place, past the playground. And I can see that they've already, looks like, tore up the asphalt on the pathways. They've also put in internal fencing to block off the lawn. But I'm standing right here and I can see people have hopped the gate already, and there's dogs running around on the lawn, people picnicking on the lawn, people playing on the lawn, children playing. And so no one cares about this fencing. So it's supposed to be a construction site, at least during the day, where people should not be for safety purposes, but also they're reseeding the lawn because the lawn is always overused and overrun. Before it was because of the soccer players who had their game like every Sunday. But now people are using the lawn a lot for the dog run, as a dog run, when it is not in fact a dog run. And so it's like the dog's running, the urine, it kills the grass, and we have a whole bunch of like brown spots. And so that's why they gated off to plant new seeds for grass, and no one respects the gates. It's like torn down already.
Oh boy. Okay. Now I see here. I did think they mentioned this. I was trying to do my research to find out when did we originally talked about this pathway reconstruction. I do remember talking about it, but I don't remember it going through the process of being approved, because this one came from the mayor. Some of the projects that they do, they don't have to get approval because it's already, the money has already been there. They just have to the courtesy thing they need to do is alert the community to let them know that this is going on. So evidently the mayor gave a $1 million funding for this. The design started in April 2021. And then they in the procurement stage now, where it said the procurement stage is finishing 2021, and now you see that they're starting to work on it. So it's probably going to take maybe some all winter, who knows, to get this done. I don't see any projected amount of time that they project how
No,
long
they
it will
say
take.
they say it should be done at some point in December. And so Friends of Broward Park, we arrange for the Christmas tree to be lit. And usually
Yeah.
the city councilman has a Christmas tree lighting ceremony, COVID, if it allows for it. So they said they'll try and get everything finished early December so that they can light the tree. But the tree is in the construction area. So if the construction's not done, we may not have the tree lit this year.
Oh boy. Okay, that would not be a good thing. We were going to try. I guess we're going to have to just keep monitoring hopefully and if the weather prevails, if it's not a lot of storms and rain and all that stuff, that will won't delay it so much. Okay.
So
The last
just Glenn, if I could interrupt a second, what exactly is this $1 million getting us over there?
the redoing the whole pavement part of the park. Where you see the asphalt.
It's repaving the walkways, fixing the drainage problems. If you've ever been in
Yes.
Broward Park, you know that the walkways always like flood, and there's always
Yes.
huge puddles on each side of the oval. So hopefully they're supposed to repair that, reseeding the lawn, and I believe there was a fourth thing, right, Miss Andrews? I can't remember what the fourth thing was.
I gotta look at my notes on here. I have printed it up now. I don't see it, but I'll look at it. I'm looking at this, but it doesn't say it on the If you ever go, like I tell you, if you go to parks, the New York City Parks page and look for capital projects, go to Brooklyn and go to each one of the parks. You can download all of the projects that they're doing now in the parks.
I see it.
So that's how I get my information.
It's also the new benches. So if you note the benches around the oval on this half of the park, they're the really old, ugly benches with the chipped paint and everything like that. But on the basketball court side, there are new benches that are like a fake wood, but I'm sure is like, able to withstand the weather better and stuff like that. So there's the new benches over by the basketball courts when they redid the basketball courts. So I guess now the other half of the park will have new benches as well.
Yes.
So, I mean, I say all this I have somewhat of park envy for Von King Park. If you've been over there, are people familiar with this? And
Yes, Von King is lovely.
Well, what they've done, I don't need to remind everyone here that the whole chronic contention between the dog lovers and the dog haters. But in Von King Park, they were successful in creating a dog run, not a very large one, I don't think. But kind of like it seems to me, at least, that the quid pro quo was the large grassy area in the middle of the park. Now, no dogs are allowed and no active playing is allowed. So no soccer, no football, no baseball, none of that, just people sitting and picnicking. And I happened to be over there about 2 months ago, and there was literally 20 or 30 different parties of people picnicking there. So it was actually getting used.
Oh, wow.
Now, I don't know why we can't figure that out over here. I mean, I think Von King's maybe bigger, maybe, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's a much larger park, and so they say.
And they have an amphitheater. They have they have a big amphitheater there, which we don't have. But I mean, I don't know.
Okay. We'll just have to figure out.
Trouble. But I think there should be some way to unravel this mess in a way. I mean, the skateboard area, it seems to me, when I'm over that way, not being utilized as much as it might be. And I don't, at the risk of offending
No,
skateboarders.
the skate park is used a lot, actually.
All right. Like I said, I don't want to. I'm sure skateboarders would be very upset in the encroachments. But be that as it may, I mean, this problem is not going to go away. I don't think that there's anything. There's more dogs than ever, from what I see. And
Sure, and it's funny because I was speaking to Robin, who used to be the president of the Friends of Broward Park, and she was saying how at Washington Square Park in Manhattan, they have 2 dog runs, but because everyone got dogs during the pandemic, there's just so many more dogs out there that people have been letting their dogs run on the regular green grass lawn areas. And so now there's like no green grass left at Washington Square Park because it's all been overrun by the dogs.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That
Yeah,
tends to happen
foreshadowing.
So it's a common problem.
for a period of time. Okay, we're gonna move on. Thank you for that information, Margaret. Since you were right there looking at the park, so that was really good to see everything that's going on. One more capital project I just wanted to mention again. They're gonna be doing the adult fitness area for it's still in the process at St. John. I don't know when they are going to start working on those those little the bars and all those other things that they have in the park there. Um, it started since 2018. The plan started in 2018. This was funded by city council. So this was I think it was Carnegie who gave this money. Little less than $1 million, and they're going to be different type of exercise equipment on in different parts of the park at St. John that people can use. And that's what they wanted to do to make sure people can still exercise and be do things in the park to be more proactive. So that one is still still haven't really started really yet. Okay, so the next thing Marva, you want to do any more for Friends of Broward Park? Anything else you want to report?
Move. The construction project came as like a surprise to us at Friends of Broward Park because we had been planning, our fall event schedule, and we put in our parks permits and things like that, and then it said we're not going to have access to half of the park, but we're working around it. We're doing a Halloween event on October 30th in the afternoon. We're going to try and do leaf crunch still, but our compost bin is within the construction site as well, and I'm supposed to meet with the regional director, Ms. Paisano, tomorrow in the park to see if there's a way we can access the compost bin safely, considering what the construction area covers. And then, like I said, tree lighting in December. Hopefully it will happen, but we don't know for sure. So we're trying to stay active in the park and safe around the construction zones.
And you know what happens? Just like the response was that sometimes I guess we just need to keep it on a calendar. But sometimes these projects come years ahead of time, and then since we had the pandemic and we had some other delays, it probably happened some time ago, and then it wasn't on our radar that when they decide to actually start the project. So moving forward, I'm gonna try to have some type of system where we can have some type of something that keep tracks of these things when we go to the action item, or if they come to mention that we don't need to go to the action item, they just want to let us know what's going on, that we keep it in our radar that it's coming down the pipe somewhere down the line, so we won't be surprised, keep constantly getting surprised. It's not all our fault. It's not all their fault. I think that sometimes the parks start and they know that this stuff was approved and all that stuff was good, but they don't have a good record of sometimes alerting the community and let them know ahead of time this is going to happen. Even though it's a good thing, we want it to happen, but sometimes you catch people off guard, and then the next day you come, okay, I can't use the park, and I didn't know about this. So we need to be a little bit more. I'm going to talk to the Brooklyn commissioner to say, have a little conversation, say, let's be like on some type of path that we can communicate with each other a little bit more, so we'll know what's going on and we won't be surprised. Okay. You have anything else, Barbara? Anybody have any questions or comments on Broward Park?
We're also on the wait list for daffodil bulbs from the Daffodil Project, which is the September 11th memorial that happens every year since September 11th, planting daffodils in memory of the people who died during September 11th. So we're hoping we'll get some bulbs to plant in Brower Park.
Okay. And they're good to do it now while it's cold, right? Put it in the ground now.
Yes, they're giving out the bulbs October 17th. It's now at a wait list, so I don't know if our organization will make it off of the wait list to get the bulbs, but we're still hopeful.
Okay. All right. And who's donating the bulbs?
It's specifically called the Daffodil Project.
Oh. Okay. Could you get something from maybe from Project Alliance? Excuse me. Project Park Alliance. I'm sorry.
I think it's kind of coordinated through Partnership for Parks. Yeah, so when I was filling out our permits for our It's My Park Day, that's how I was alerted to the Daffodil Project. So I put in the request, but I guess it was late because we only made the wait list. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Any other comments for Brown Park? Before I go to the next. Okay. All right. I do have a report again from St. John Recreation Center. Miss Olga was not available today to come, so she's on vacation actually. But I did speak with Sandra, and she told me to invite her the next time, and she will be probably the one that comes to all the meetings, and she was very informative. So she did give me an update, and the good thing now, we want me to state again, the free registration for St. John Recreation Center up to December 31st. You have to have at least one vaccine shot. Everything is open. I was surprised. She said the swimming pool from Monday through Friday for adults from 11 to 2:30. For the children, 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock p.m. And the teenagers from 5 to 6:30 p.m. On Saturday, they told you to check online because they got so many intervals of time for different groups, like 1 hour here, 1 hour here. So you go online or you can call St. John to get the time for the swimming on Saturdays. The gym is open. Basketball court is open from 8 o'clock to 9:30. And they have all instructors for the cardio and the weight room. So they have all the instructors that they need for all of this stuff. Okay, so that's a good thing. But she did wanted to also remind people between 3 and 6 o'clock during the day on Monday through Fridays, only children are allowed in the building, except for the adults that's running the parks department employees. They keeping it kind of like safe for the children that the adults won't be around, so they only have a limited amount of children, a limited amount of adults in the center during that time. So 3 o'clock, remember 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock, only children will be allowed in the building, except for the parks employees. They still have but they do have instructors. They said they do have instructors for. They have the pickleball that's inside now. The basketball is inside. And the good news about the spin room. The spin room had damages. Remember I saying that they had the roof damages and the floor damage. They repaired everything, and the spin room is in full gear. She said all the bikes are in there, available for people to use. Okay, now they're just pushing for members to join. They want people to come back to the center. So spread the word, okay, that the gym is available, but you must have the vaccine. And vaccine must be for everyone from 12 and older, because they have, the 12 and older are the ones that can get the shot. So that's the report from St. John. Okay, I don't think we have,
Linda,
yes.
question. I heard they have completely renovated the kitchen there. There's a professional kitchen at St.
Oh,
John's.
they have a kitchen. She didn't tell me anything about
Yeah,
that.
it had not been available for use for years.
Oh,
And I
so
heard
they
that
have
it
a
was
kitchen.
told that it had finally been brought in line. I was just curious. Maybe you could make a note of asking her about that.
Okay, I will put a note
You
by
know,
that.
I'd love to do some cooking classes in there with some community garden people. And
Oh, that would be great. And use the
yeah,
garden,
they
the food
actually,
from the
I
garden.
don't know if they have a garden outside. Have you noticed? They have like 6 raised beds.
Yes, I noticed it. I've been over
Yeah.
there. I've seen it. It looks really
Yeah, this
great.
woman
I
named
have the other day.
Fabiola
Yes.
used to run the computer lab there.
Oh, okay.
She's a fanatic gardener and she set up like 6 of these beds all over the city.
Okay.
And so it'd be a great combo to do some cooking classes with the beds. I mean, it's a little late in the year for that now, but certainly in the summer.
Okay. Okay. Greg,
Just a
you
thought.
up? Unless anybody have any other inquiries or any questions about St. John that you want me to look into? I know, Marvin, you was talking about some program with the children, something you were saying at the last meeting, that you wanted to have something at St. John, and they didn't want to comply with it or something. Marva?
He's muted, I
Sorry, can you
see.
say that again?
Okay. Okay. At the last meeting, you mentioned something about you wanted to have some type of program at St. John, and they didn't want wanted to work with you guys.
Oh, I think it was the NYPD YCO, the youth coordinating officer. Is Mark still on the line? I think he left.
He left.
And so they were just saying they've been doing lots of like athletic activities with the kids here in Broward Park. But as the weather gets colder, they wanted to try and do some stuff indoors. But there were certain limitations as far as the guidelines using the rec center, because it's a separate city agency, and they would have certain time limitations and things like that, which I guess is what you were just talking about as far as the scheduling, when adults can be in the building, and the access to the basketball courts and things like that. But I think that was my comment at our last meeting, that we wanted to see if we could help the YCOs get some indoor space for some of their youth activities.
Okay. So I would suggest that you reach out to Donna Allgood or Sandra Coelho. These are those are the two people that will be more and Steve was the person who he's in charge of the whole area, but sometimes it's a little hard to get in contact with. So if you can get in contact with Donna or Sandra, actually Sandra or Donna, and they will maybe able to get you started with the communications going over that.
They're at the
So
St. John's Rec Center?
yes, at the St. John Center.
Okay,
Okay. All right.
thank you.
All right. If you don't get any response, let me know. I'll try to get in contact with them more if you need more
Okay.
help with that. Okay. All right. Greg, Imani Garden.
Yeah, we're basically now in the process of putting in a new gate on the Schenectady Avenue side. For those that are familiar with the garden, on the south side of the garden, we've got a education area, and it's very hard to get to because the only way is on the north end to get into the garden. So we're adding a gate. We got a grant from, I think, Citizens Committee. We're using some of that money to put a gate in, so that'll make our education area much more accessible. And we also got another grant. So we've got quite a bit of money right now. We're looking for ideas I know our garden members have got, I think they're in the process of rebuilding our composting operation to accommodate more leaves. So if
Mhm.
folks in the neighborhood like to rake up leaves and want somewhere to bring them to the garden.
Okay.
We really use them. They're very important for our composting operation. So we are one of the designated drop-off sites.
But you should put a flyer out so people can know about that. Put something
Yeah,
up by
well,
by your gate.
the head of our composting operation gets back Friday, and I'm sure
Okay.
she'll be on top of that.
Okay.
Susie Sadler. Um, but separately, I was approached by somebody out on the western end of Crown Heights about setting up dog run somewhere.
Yes, I saw that in the email that you said look for a dog, or try to
Yeah,
find
there
an
apparently
area.
a lot of dog lovers or dog owners in the western end. There's no dog runs, and they've been using PS9 schoolyard. Doesn't sound like a.
But do they have an idea where they can find where's some vacant lots? I mean, Brooklyn is
Well,
getting
there are.
built up. All the empty lots are getting built up.
Well, there's parks over there. There's that big park on what is that, Dean or Bergen, I think.
On Bergen?
There's basketball courts and soccer fields, I believe.
It's on Bergen and what?
It's near what is that street that cuts Underhill? Underhill? Grand? No. Sixth Avenue. Thank you. God. Sixth Avenue. Yeah, there's a park there.
Is
It's
that
mostly,
a part of our jurisdiction? I thought that was outside.
yeah, it should be. Um, and there's also another one, obviously Stroud Park, that was just renovated.
Strauss Park. That's a school playground now.
Well, I
Where
mean,
do
it's
they have an
next to
area
a
out there
school.
where do they have an area out there to do a dog run?
Well, I mean,
I
many of
understand for
these,
the dog run, there has to be a certain. We got to talk to parks because parks always say there has to be a certain amount of space.
yeah,
I don't know how
minimum.
much that space is
Yeah,
to have to verify that it can be a dog run. It can't be just a little spot that you say I want to have a dog run. They say it's a certain perimeter and certain amount of space to have enough space for the dogs to be able to run, and they won't interfere with the children and everybody else. So, uh, to me, it has to be a nice, huge property, just like Presley Park. They have their dog run there, because
well,
they have a
yeah.
big area.
They've also got in Von King a dog run. It's not that big, but it's
I really don't
big, I
think that
guess.
the dog run in Von King is like an official dog run
I
in the
wonder.
sense
It
of,
looks kind of cobbled up to me.
yeah, I don't think it is.
But
I don't
it's
know how they arranged that,
yeah.
but
See,
I'm pretty sure it's not within the
yeah.
parameters that
But
they've talked about what would be needed over here in Brower Park and how Brower Park is too small for it and all that. So
blah, blah, blah. I mean, the
that
point
just
is,
doesn't seem official.
sorry for talking over you, Barbara, but we've got a precedent. I mean, if Von King can do it, I mean, it's good for the goose, good for the gander. If they can cut corners, and I remember we talked about this, dog run like a year or two ago, and there was this big, process and years of study and measuring and blah, 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 blah. I don't think that happened at Von King. To me, it looks like me, they just fenced off an area and let the dogs loose. End of story.
Exactly.
Well, you don't have maybe you don't have as many pushbacks as we have in this community. There's a lot of people that's on the opposite side that say, no, we don't want a dog run. So they're clashing more here in this area than Von King. Maybe they have a meeting
No,
up in
no,
Von
I don't think so. I mean, I've been living in Bed-Stuy almost a year now while I'm working on my house over there. And this area is very, very, what's the word? Activist. Very strong community in Bed-Stuy. Much stronger in many
Okay.
ways than. So I don't know how. I'm just saying. I'm just seeing Von King, and I'm sitting there like, how did they do that? And maybe they need
Okay.
some strong-willed people in the Parks Committee at the community board to go out there and rally the troops and just like get some fence and just like guerrilla gardeners. We could be guerrilla something. And it's funny thing is once something's built, it's hard for the city to tear it down, especially if there's a lot of
Yes.
people. I'm not saying
It's
I
up to,
would never say we should do that, of course.
yeah.
But
I'm just saying it's just so hard to find, lots of parks and everything because everything has been, getting built up in Brooklyn. No matter what hole in the wall you used to see, they're building something there. It's just like there's no,
yeah.
they don't have like open space like we used to have back in the days. What
Well,
what they call open space.
I've
So
become a good friend with Anthony on Community Board 3, who's like on the executive committee, and he seems to know a lot about where the skeletons are buried. Maybe he could explain to me if he knows how they were able to. I mean, they have a lot of support from their electeds over there. I think for one thing, I think the council member is very down, and the assemblyman. And so maybe it's about getting some of our electeds to just stand up and take the heat a little bit. I don't know.
yeah,
I'm just
well,
guessing. I have no idea. But anyway, I
no,
suggested that he speak with the friends of these parks over there, if there are friends of like Stroud Park and the park on 6th Avenue.
this
Um,
fight has been going on for the dog run. I tell you for at least 20 years, at least. Okay, so I
right?
don't know where they're going to find the answer for this, but it's just been a
How long
big
were we in
thing.
Afghanistan, right? And it ended.
Yeah,
So I mean,
I don't know.
anything's
Okay,
possible.
okay. You have it. We're getting close to the end to the meeting. Do you have any more comments about Imani Gardens?
No, we're good. Thanks.
Okay. All right. I'm not gonna get too much into our goals and stuff. This meeting is so long, but did anybody submit anything? I haven't seen anything about our goals for this year, what we really want to work on for this committee. And I don't know if they're promoting that we have some type of event, but in the past they wanted each, like they say, each committee to sponsor something during the year. So I don't know, just kind of think about it, and we can maybe kind of piggyback with something that's going on with Imani Gardens or Broward Park or St. John. Let's do something that we can piggyback on, something like that, and say that the community board is sponsoring it. So just think about that. To me, my biggest goal is to just look at each one of our parks, find out what needs to be improved in these parks. If we have any, things that equipment, the old equipment and stuff, and then just try to upgrade it. Look at all our gardens and see if they're all up to date and if they need some attention also. So we need to look at our gardens, we need to look at our parks, and we're supposed to be looking at in charge of Eastern Parkway, the mall there. That area they consider a park. Those sides like they did some work down Eastern Parkway with the mall part, but just look and see if any additional things need to be done there. Just think about those type of things, and let's put it as a homework. And everybody bring at least one type of goal they want to have for this year in the next meeting. Okay, so I'm gonna put that in the minutes, so we'll have that for the next meeting.
Yeah, I would like to see if we could get more representation from the western end. Because you've got Underhill Playground, you've got Stroud Park, you've got
Yeah.
this park over there on 6th Avenue in Bergen.
D Street. Well, we used to have underground on the hill, and we used to have D Street come to our meeting on the hill, and the friends of on the hill and friends of D Street playground. Peter, I was thinking about Peter too for D Street. I'm gonna reach out to him and see if he can send somebody or can he come to the meeting sometime to give us an update about Dean Street playground. And then I don't know who the contact person is with the Underhill playground anymore. I used to know the person.
Well, I'm
But I don't
sure,
know anymore.
Rob Witherwack would know because he
Oh,
lives
Robert, no,
on that
maybe. Okay.
block
Okay.
for sure.
So that would be some of our homework. Let's go and look
And
at,
the
I want
Stroud
to get a
too,
list
right?
of
I mean,
all of our parks. Get a list of all of our parks. Let's list them so we'll know every single park, every mall, every gardens that we have in our community board 8. And then we go one by one and just check each
right.
one. What's going on with this? Let's see what's going on with that. And
We
and,
should get,
and that's my goal. That's
yeah,
my
we
goal.
should get like a little spreadsheet for each garden and each
Yes.
park.
Yes.
And then there's also two gardens, community gardens, Walt Shamal and the, what's it called? Prospect Heights Farm that are pretty
Uh-huh.
big. I know contacts at Walt Schimmel, Zach Schulman, And I also have some friends over at the Underhill at the Prospect Heights Farm. We can get them in this too.
Okay. Prospect Park Farms, you said?
Yeah, Prospect, what's it called? The Prospect Heights Farm. That's
Oh,
on
Prospect Heights
St.
Farm.
Mark's and Vanderbilt. And then we have Walt Schummel Community Garden, which is on Dean Street in Bedford. I was just over there on Sunday. They have a wood burning pizza oven. And there must have been like 30 people over there having pizza. I mean, yeah. And they got chickens over there, you know.
So
la, la, la.
yes, we need
So,
to, let's look at our guards. So that'll be a homework. Maybe I can work with community board. They may have a list already of this stuff. So we'll see what they have. And if they don't have everything, then we can just go and do our research. We need to, when it gets to weather get warmer and the situation get a little better, we want to request, like we said before, let the Parks Department pick us up in the van. They did it before, and they took us to all of the parks that we were in charge of in our community board. I don't know if we could, include the gardens, but the parks, I know. We went to every single park that we had, we were in charge of in the community board to just literally look at it, and then walk around and see what needs to be done. So that could be one of our things that we do when the weather get much better. Maybe in April or May sometime do that. And then we can move forward with that too. So that's my goal. So everybody bring something the next meeting, and if it's a little different than mine, and then we'll come up with a list of stuff. Okay.
yeah, I'll put
Good
together a
idea.
spreadsheet, all right? And
Yes.
just to name the park, and if there's a friends of or not, and if there is a friends of, who's the contact? If it's not a friends of, then we should try to talk to our connections in the community. Find out who
Yes.
we know on the board that lives in the area over there. I don't know who lives over by the Bergendine Park. That's way off in the corner over there. Or Stroud for that matter. But anyway, I'll talk to Michelle and Julia.
Okay.
And,
Let's see if we can get a spreadsheet, and then we
Yeah.
can work from that. And if we have to add things, as things go on, we can add on to it. Okay. That sounds like a plan to me. Now, our next meeting is going to be the second Tuesday in November. I always decide to, because one of the things I used to work that day for election day. But I'm not working this year, but it's going to be the second Tuesday in November. That's November the 9th. Okay, at 6:15. And I'm going to send you a link. The same link that we had from the September link. That's going to be the same link. It's weird the way she did it, but I'll send you a link again to remind you about the meeting. Okay, and I'll try to get these minutes out to you guys as soon as I can. Okay. So if we don't have any announcements or any other statements, any announcements, anything coming up that we need to know, any comments? Okay, I guess the meeting is adjourned.
Good
And the
night,
time
everybody.
is
Night.
7:20. Okay.
Hi,
Vilma,
Okay.
you didn't say
Yeah,
anything. What's wrong?
well,
Oh well, we have to give condolences to her. Duma lost her mother.
Oh,
So
it's her mother.
yes,
I know she
yes,
lost a family member.
yes, yes.
yes. You never heard me so quiet, huh?
Yeah, I know. You usually like never shut up.
Yeah. Not today. I mean, I have a lot on my mind.
All right.
Okay.
Well, good. So
Thank you
you
so
just
much.
keep it there.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, Vilma.
Yes.
All
Okay.
right. Good.
Later.
We got our next
Right. Have a good night,
general meeting
everybody.
next Thursday. Next Thursday is a community board meeting. So remember
All
that.
right.
Okay.
Got it.
Oh, yeah.
Next
Right, have a
Thursday.
good one.
Andrew, I sent you an email.
Who's that?
It's Marva. I sent you an email.
You sent me an email? Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. All
All
right.
right.
night.
Good night.
Hey, good night,
Okay.
everyone. Have a good one. All right. Bye-bye.